not have to use the book at all. I have a different version of the book. But, all right, I'll get started. We all have our own preconceived ideas about things such as racism, sexual orientation, gay marriage, and even religious views that help us decide how we think on issues. We don't really have to wonder about gay marriage anymore because we've already thought about it. But do you know how you think about things? What I'm going to show you today, using the elaboration likelihood model, the ELM model, is how you can get your audience to actively join your persuasion, to actually be a part of what you're talking about. Now, by the end of this presentation, you should be able to understand how to awaken your listener to reason, and I'm going to show you how to do that by first going over a few of the basics, why we need the model, defining a few of the key terms of the model, and then finally showing you how the model works, at least half of the model, the peripheral portion. So the reason that we need this model is we need to understand this section of thinking. If I'm hungry and I want to eat something, all I know is that I finally went out and got something to eat. I don't think about where I went or how I got to that decision. Boom. I don't have to think about it. I already know what I like, what I am interested in. So it makes it a lot easier. So we need to know how to target the audience and how to get them interested in what you have. So you have to get them emotional. Now, John Cacioppo and Richard Petty were two social scientists back in the 70s, and they came up with the easiest way to really get that feeling. They came up with the easiest way to explain how the mind thinks, and that is through emotion and through logic. So what I'd like everybody to do to get a basic understanding of it, let's go ahead and put a hand up in our peripheral vision, and a hand up right in front of us. That's our central vision. What's right in front of us is what's actually blocking what we have to get over. What are we paying attention to right now?
Hitting someone.
Hitting someone. But on the other hand, we have things that we can see that we aren't actively making a decision on. It's only the things that finally get in front of us that make us want to pay attention. So what does it mean to elaborate? Now, Woodard and, what was the guy's name? Woodard and Denton, the authors of our book, say that elaboration is the thought process itself, actually thinking clearly, thinking critically. Central vision is elaboration. Peripheral vision is not elaboration. So the elaboration likelihood is the likelihood that you're going to jump out of peripheral and into central, out of the emotional, out of the shortcut thinking, and into what's real, what you can actually use to make a decision. Now, I'd like to show you guys, real quick, my trip to get food the other day. I'm hungry. I know I'm hungry, but I don't really want to think about it. My elaboration likelihood is low. I don't care what I eat, so I drive. And the first thing I see is McDonald's. I don't like McDonald's. McDonald's is gross to me. So I keep driving, but all I can think about is gross food. And as I'm driving, not really wanting to think about it, gross food just really turns me off to hamburgers at all. Boom. I don't want hamburgers. So every time I see a Wendy's or a Carl's Jr., no, I'm not thinking about it. It's just gross. I'm just going to keep driving. So I finally get this idea of all this food is so gross. What's not gross? Boom! Subway. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking, but I already know Subway. I like Subway a lot. I already know what I'm going to get. Chicken. Every time I get chicken. So I'm driving to Subway and I see a KFC. KFC, that sounds really good. And it's chicken, but I don't know their menu. So it's a negative. It makes me want to think about it less. As I'm going to KFC or to Subway, I'm still not really sure what I want to do. I haven't really thought about it. I hear a commercial for fruit smoothies. Boom, I'm thinking about it. Not only are fruit smoothies delicious to me, they're healthy, and I want one. Now I have to actively engage the commercial that I'm listening to in order to find out where I can get my fruit smoothies. How much are they? What are their flavors? I'm really interested. And guess who's selling them? McDonald's. I don't go. I don't like McDonald's. But I do have a better appreciation for McDonald's. It made me think clearly, think critically about what I was actually doing. Now this is the peripheral side of the model. The the actual clear thinking and changing is not so much part of this presentation. One more thing that I would like to go over with you guys though is another model of thinking, the basic form of actually presenting a message. You have your sender, me, the message, what I'm telling you, the channel. Right now you guys can hear me, you can see me, hopefully you can't smell me, but that is another channel. And the receiver, which is you guys. So the sender, McDonald's in this case, I don't have a good relationship with McDonald's. They're gross to me. So in this case, the sender has turned me off from elaborating. The message itself, if I am not a fan of what they're talking about, then I'm not going to be a fan of what they're selling. So they need to either find a new way to sell that product or find a new product to sell me. The channel, if you drive by a trash can and get that whiff, if you can't hear for some reason because there's cars driving by, that's another thing that's going to block you from even receiving the message at all. You're never going to get to elaborate because you can't even hear it, you can't understand it. Or the receiver, you may have your own preconceived ideas. Maybe I'm not the person that should be explaining this in your mind. So automatically you don't think that this model is accurate or something like that. These are just a few of the things that can block an audience. So now, over the past few minutes, I really tried to show you how in the future you can add emotion or new buzzwords to get people to elaborate into your presentation. So I did that by fleshing out the ideas themselves, by actually defining the terms, and hopefully in a way that was easy to understand without using the books, and by explaining the difference and how to get people through the peripheral process in order to actually pay attention to your message that you're trying to get to them. Now, everybody, I hope that you'll be able to use this on your next week's presentation.